And we're back. This is the first week in June. No, second week in June. Second week in June, and the official first episode of summer. Technically, summer session has started back at UCA, and both Ron and I are not working right now. At least not on our regular jobs. So there should be plenty of time for comics. And what we have in front of us is a decent pile of comics, sort of. So, let's hear about the first pile of decent comics from our independent publishers.
First off, we have Walking Dead number 128, and this is the new group of people, right? The new...
well, I mean, they time jumped in the last episode issue, and now, there's a new group coming to join them on the hilltop or whatever.
But still lots of zombies and drama and fighting.
Walking Dead stuff.
And
Carl.
Yes. And also, from independent publishers, from Dark Horse number 18 of Star Wars. When we last left off, Princess Leia's wedding was pretty much kaput as the Empire is coming down on the planet. So we get to see what happens from there.
And we're also there's an end in sight.
Yeah, they've announced the last issue in previews for most of the Star Wars books from Dark Horse.
All of the Star Wars, I think they're all in.
They all have, okay.
Yeah.
Only saw a handful, so I don't know if they've all been announced by now.
Yeah. I think that's the last month that they can publish them.
That's going to be a big old bummer for Dark Horse.
Yeah.
It's a big old bummer, period. Because once again, it's whether you can argue about the quality of it, it stings because that is... Dark Horse has been good to Star Wars. And in return, Star Wars has been great to Dark Horse. So, it's just... Yeah, it's
in
business.
the next previews, when they announce Brian Bendis or somebody's writing it, you'll be
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a Marvel, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of talent they put on it, because that's really the only problem I've ever had with the Star Wars stuff, is sometimes, I guess probably because of the license fee, they can't really hire top-notch writers and artists sometimes. Sometimes they do. I mean, right now, Brian Wood's doing an awesome job.
But I can't think of any, I can think of, good runs of Star Wars comics, but I can't think of, notable artists and writers that have been attached to Star Wars.
Adam Hughes has done a lot of covers for him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Alex Ross has done a couple.
Yeah, but that's still covers, though.
Covers,
It's yeah, I'm thinking, internal creative teams, but, oh well.
Those are the highlights.
Yeah, and there's a highlight coming in right now. TJ McDonald.
I don't think that's a highlight, dude.
Well, low light. But, over from DC...
Alright, we got a bunch from DC today.
We sure do.
3 whole comics. Most importantly, though, if you're a old school Gail Simone fan, and whether or not you're reading Batgirl, there's something on the last page that I'm not going to show you, but you might want to read it because it might have something to do with some kind of old stuff that she wrote that everybody loves and is missing now because that related title might have just got canceled. So if you can't figure out what I'm talking about, then you probably don't know. You don't know to worry about it. But if you think you might, at least pick it up at the comic shop and look at the last page. Next up, we got Astro City. I flipped through it just to see if I could figure out what's going on. But there's all kinds of craziness, and Astro City a lot of times doesn't really work with their established characters. Like Jack in the Box is in it, but he's not the star. So I'm not sure what's going on, except for regular people are looking at superheroes like normal. But it should be good. And then Coffin Hill number 8. It's the first issue of the second storyline. So if you've been liking witches and cops and fun stuff like that, we're ready for a new story.
Excellent. Well, Marvel, it is business as usual. Some good stuff coming out from Marvel. Once again, can't talk about everything, but once again, Marvel has such a widespread, smorgasbord of different genres and different teams that whether you're an X-Men fan or Avenger fan or whatever you are, there's plenty to like coming out of Marvel. First up, we got issue 4 of Kelly Sue Comics Captain Marvel. I gotta be honest, guys, not as interested in this second volume.
You don't
like space travel?
There's Rocket Raccoon.
I know.
Everything
There's
everybody
plenty
loves in the world right now.
I know.
You don't like it. There's even cats in space, dude. Come on.
There has not been that much Rocket.
No, that's true.
And there's not going to be. Yeah. And so I do love the last issue of Guardians of the Galaxy with Captain Marvel on the cover. And Captain Marvel did not show up in one panel of that comic.
Brian Bendis did explain it on his Tumblr. If you want me to explain it for you.
Go for it.
She was supposed to be in it originally, and she shows up and saves him. But he realized that was kind of the book was better as like the low point. Like everybody at the end is totally screwed over. So
Just got mixed up.
So he just took it out, and she'll be in the next issue.
Cool. You felt that coming, but I did really enjoy that.
Yeah, Rocket's not going to die. Star Wars not going to die.
They're all kind of
They've
screwed.
kind of got a big deal coming out this summer.
I feel really bad for Groot. Groot's with those brood.
Yeah.
And the poor guy. All right, all new Invaders, original Sin tie-in. Not really sure what's going on, but there's a new character introduced, a new lady character that has a strong connection to these Golden Age heroes. So if you're an old school fan, maybe you can pick up on that nod and just be as happy as you could be with that.
Hidden sins about Hiroshima and stuff too.
Oh crap!
Mm-hmm.
Yikes!
A lot of Jim Hammond.
Well, I like Jim Hammond. I like Jim Hammond now that he's apparently got a strong connection to the Fantastic Four. Sorry guys, I looked at the cover for the next issue of Invaders, and it's very anime-ish.
Well, the new character is a Japanese girl from Japan, but she's not unlike an anime character.
Next up is issue 3 of Todd Knox, Nightcrawler. Todd Knox
Is
doing a
it
good
Todd
job.
Knox Nightcrawler? I mean, I know he's the artist.
Sorry,
Chris
Claremont's
Claremont might be a bigger
Nightcrawler.
name.
I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of following Knock a little bit more right now. But that's, of course, Jamie McKelvey's cover. Another great cover. I didn't know Nightcrawler could fight with a sword with his tail.
Dude, that's the best. When Nightcrawler's got a sword with 3 swords going, that's the best, dude.
Excellent. Can't use his feet. Doesn't Nightcrawler have grabby feet?
Yeah, but then he can't. How do you stand and hold swords in your feet, dude?
It's probably as complicated as swinging a tail. With a
No,
sword.
dude, because you can stand with your legs and not you don't need the tail to stand.
As long as they got one leg free, it should be fine.
Alright.
And next up is She-Hulk. And guys, I don't know what's going on at Marvel. I understand that artists need a break, and that's fine. But sometimes these substitute artists, I don't know. Usually, maybe I'm used to a higher caliber. Maybe it's art that I just don't understand. I don't think that's the case. But this is as cringeworthy, if not worse, than Ultimate FF. And let's just say I can't wait to have, is it Polito? Yeah, I can't have him back. Because that's a great tone for the book. I've been really happy with that. But, yeah, not too happy with this. But, yeah, that's about all I got as far as the weekly Marvel books. Once again, remember, there's plenty of other stuff. There's some Spider-Man. There's some New Avengers. There's other X-Men titles. But these are my highlights for the week. As opposed to Brian, who literally, that's as good as it's going to get from DC this week. Unless you're
there's some other books. Superman, Wonder Woman, stuff like that, but they suck.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like this. No, I'm saying there's other stuff in this pile that I'm probably going to read and that I'm excited about.
Yeah, like I said, there's that Spider-Man 1.2 or whatever. That's been a real good story.
Yeah. So.
New Avengers, stuff like that.
And maybe a few picks of the week.
That's true. We do still have 3 to talk about.
Yeah. And it's once again it's Marvel. So why don't we go ahead and segue into picks of the week? Mara, what's up with you?
All new X-Men number 28. The X-Men have been time traveling way too much lately, and now it's come. The idea that they can fix all their problems with time travel is finally here. Namely, the death of a certain mentor to every X-Men.
Xavier. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Can they time travel and prevent his death from happening?
I bet the answer is
It's what
no.
his son thinks.
That's not really what happens in the comic book.
I read it. They talked about going back.
Yeah, and they said you can't do that.
Yeah, but...
So now they're going back to kill somebody else.
Is it his son, or is it Legion, or is it...
It's his son. It's his son by Mystique.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Ray's.
Okay.
Well, the Professor X character is
well,
Professor X's son, too.
You said son by Wolverine.
No, I
I
didn't.
thought no, he
Instead
did.
by Mystique.
Oh,
He
that's
did.
said by
Oh, he did.
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier is also Mystique's son.
Mhm.
Mystique gets around, dude.
Yeah.
So does Charles, apparently.
Well, you know, she shapeshift, man.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your pick of the week, Brian?
My pick is Mighty Avengers number 11. This book has been really good since it started, and now this issue is the original Sin tie-in. And Cage finds out that his father was involved with some superheroes in the 70s. And one of those is Blade, the other one's Blue Marvel, and then a couple other characters I don't recognize, so I don't know if they're new or not, but it's pretty cool. It looks like it's going to tie into what the story with Blade has been building up since the beginning. The Deathwalkers, I think is what they're called. So, should be good. The art is cool. Greg Land. And you got Blade in his 70s outfit with the big, huge glasses.
And the
fro
glasses.
and stuff.
I always
So
liked
it's
that
cool.
because Blade always kind of looked like a dork. Like those big, nerdy kind of glasses, like the green-tinted ones. So it's
But
cool
yeah, his
looking.
dad also driving a big muscle car and as a detective and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, most people associate Blade with like the Wesley Snipes, but before that, there was a bunch of orange
Sure.
that Blade was wearing, which was very odd. Well, my pick of the week also takes place, I believe, in the 70s. I'm pretty sure in the 70s, maybe early 80s.
Dazzler gets wonky because
Yeah, at least
she's not old enough to be in the 70s.
in a simpler time. And most commonly, when people think of Dazzler, they don't think of like the newer outfits or like the headband Dazzler and like the denim bomber jacket. Usually, when I say Dazzler, if someone says Dazzler, you're thinking of this image. And so, yeah, my pick of the week is Deadpool 30. Just because at the Kansas City Comic Con, I met Jerry Dugan, and I talked to him about Beta Ray Bill when he was in Nova. And Dugan said, you never know when you're going to get kicked off a book, so I want to use every Marvel character that I've ever wanted to use. And I have a feeling that this is probably what's happening here. He just really wanted to use Dazzler. So I doubt that Dazzler is actually going to become a mainstay in Deadpool. I'm not sure what Deadpool's original sin is. I have no idea. But I'm sure that this is going to be a humorous issue. And I think Marvel is going to probably concentrate a little bit on Dazzler lately. Because I think there is no way that they can make the Age of Apocalypse movie, have it take place in like the 80s or the 70s or whenever it's going to take place, and not have Dazzler in a movie finally. So I
think you're probably wrong, but that's cool.
come on, you would be happy to see Dazzler in
I
Age
got
of
no problem with
Apocalypse.
Dazzler, but I don't think there's anything in what you said that makes Dazzler have to be in that movie.
Right, but I mean, we are seeing a lot more Dazzler with this, and we also have her. I have a feeling that she's going to become pretty important in, more important than she already is in Uncanny X-Men, and yeah, she's pretty pissed off after she woke up.
Yeah, Blob's been feeding on her, dude.
Exactly. Bob's been a nasty junkie, and he's been eating on her arm veins, which is gross. Magneto was very disappointed with that too. But I guess that's it for the picks of the week. Anything else we want to talk about Vincent? I can't ever pronounce his last name. D'Onofrio.
He's going to be Kingpin.
Well, we do have one more pick of the week.
Oh, TJ's crying in the corner because we won't let him talk about Figment.
Figment. There is a figment of hope that I wouldn't have to let TJ talk
My
about.
pick of the week is Figment. It's by Jim Zub. It's a Disney Marvel.
I will say this. I'll defend Jim Zub. I like Jim Zub quite a bit.
Well, Figment is
What
awesome.
have you read by Jim Zub?
I've been reading the Samurai Jack stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I like his Legends of the Dark Knight. I've not been
Anyways.
reading Skull Kickers though.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is not Journey into the Imagination Figment, as you might have noticed, because that's Timekeeper on the cover. So this is the original Figment from Disneyland and Epcot. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That means.
Who'd win in the fight, Lockheed or Figment?
Figment.
Why?
Dude, Lockheed's got guns, dude.
Because
Lockheed
Figment's
brings
not
fire.
real. He's a figment of the imagination.
So isn't Lockheed from Fantasyland?
No, he's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some sword.
Comics, I mean.
He was, Lockheed was also a pet Avenger, lest you forget.
That's true.
Granted, he had to answer the lockjaw, but...
I don't understand how he's a pet Avenger and an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. But
And
Sword,
X-Men.
man, sword.
He is
Sword
agent
is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's true. I think it's because really, I'm sorry, TJ just opened up a gigantic box that contains one Blu-ray, and I'm sorry, it's just very bizarre that that's how they shipped that, and that you bought that. It's the weakest of Wes Anderson's movies.
Doesn't mean it's a bad. It's The Life Aquatic. I'm sorry, Mara. I keep covering your face up.
It's okay.
It's The Life Aquatic. It's not a bad movie.
Did you buy Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Have you bought all the other Wes Anderson movies?
I have all of them except for Grand Budapest Hotel.
Well, don't buy that. Don't buy Moonrise Kingdom either until it gets.
I already have
Criterion.
Moonrise Kingdom.
I always hold off, but that's another conversation for another
We're talking
time.
about comic books.
Sorry.
I'm awake now.
If Wes Anderson was asked by Marvel to direct a movie, what property would you want Wes Anderson to direct?
Don't
Something
care.
that I don't want to watch because those movies are boring and awful.
Something super colorful.
Like Mole Man or something. You could do a
Young
Mole Man
Avengers.
movie.
He would make a great Young Avengers
No,
movie.
that would be so boring. Him doing Young Avengers? Especially
You saw
youthful.
Moonrise Kingdom.
I would say,
Okay, can we finish?
Yeah,
and you guys
sorry.
talk about this later.
sorry, yes. Well, guys, from Nerdspin, well, sorry, Brian. Jeez. Where can the kids pick up their comics?
Conway Comics, 255 Ferris Road. We have no Wes Anderson movies in the store except for one that TJ has in his hand.
And
So
Life
come see
Aquatic.
us. And I'm not even going to tell them that we're behind UCA.
We're
Too
behind
bad.
we're behind
You just did.
But he didn't say the good old, and I didn't like that too much. We are behind the good old UCA. And from nerdspan.com, I'm Matt Wood,
I'm Mara Wood.
And I'm Brian Keogh.
and TJ's here. Have a good week, and we will see you in 7 days.